Have you ever had a horrible boss? I sure have. And today, we're gonna name names. Just kidding. But you know who you are. Okay, let's get serious. Let's talk. Hello and welcome to the Unapologetically Authentic Leadership channel. My name is Brooke Bernard and I am your transformational leadership coach. This space is all about empowering high-achieving women to be their authentic selves. And if you're new here, my mission is to empower you to reach your full potential by being who you are instead of who you're expected to be. Get ready for support, validation, and strategies to help you tackle daily leadership challenges. Have you ever had a boss that was unreliable, incompetent, or narcissistic? Or worse, dehumanizing because they were sexist, racist, ablest, ageist, or sizist? Perhaps they were straight up bullies. And maybe most grievous of all, maybe they were sexually harassing you. Unfortunately, having a horrible boss is something that most of us will encounter at least once in our careers. So please know you are not alone. And why are we talking about this? We are talking about this because the actual experience of working for a horrible boss can be isolating. And it is helpful and healthy to find support and talk about it. And we're also talking about it because we can learn from these painful experiences and become more self-assured, more resourceful, more resilient, more confident, just more. These experiences do not need to diminish us or dim our light. With reflection and intention, we can learn what not to do and become far superior in our leadership. We can learn more about what we value and who we want to be as leaders. And that is powerful. First, I guess, if we're talking about horrible bosses, we should define what a horrible boss is. At minimum, they lack communication skills. They fail to provide clear expectations. They show favoritism. They lack empathy. They take credit for other people's work. They micromanage excessively. They assign unrealistic tasks with impossible deadlines and without proper guidance, and they fail to support their team. And for laughs, and to illustrate my point, I'm going to share some of my very own stories about horrible bosses. One had a very strict expectation for what she expected during our one-on-one supervisory meetings. And so as I was laying out all the information that she requested, mind you, I was running a department, so this would be critical information to know as a supervisor. She was drawing a cheeseburger. I looked up from sharing critical information and she was literally drawing a cheeseburger. And at that point, I had just had enough. So I asked, "Are you drawing a cheeseburger?" And she was like, "Yeah." I had another one that contacted me while I was on vacation in order to brainstorm a presentation that she was going to be giving to the board. What? And then there was the calling me and texting me outside of work hours. And we're talking like while I was brushing my teeth in the morning or before I was getting ready to go to bed or on the weekends. Yeah, that was a good time. And then there was a time I was forced to present at a conference just so my boss had an excuse to go so he could hook up with another woman that was not his wife. And this one, being asked to ghostwrite important communications for our department, but then in public being treated like I didn't matter and didn't have my boss's respect. Or being gaslit so intensely and so openly that my direct reports were worried about my well-being and were trying to coach me out of the position for my mental health. That was heartbreaking. about the bad boss that tells you that when their boss is trying to touch you without your consent, that is their way of building team. And that maybe I wasn't resilient enough for that work. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So those are just a few of my horrible boss stories. So if you have any horrible boss stories of your own, please feel free to share in the comments. It'd be good for all of us to laugh and heal and learn together. So what really happens when people have horrible bosses? How does it impact them? What are the negative outcomes for us? Well, personally, I can tell you that everything that I'm about to share with you absolutely hits home. Like it's been my experience multiple times, unfortunately. So here we go. Increased stress, decreased job satisfaction, super low morale, the desire to leave, which boosts turnover rates for the company, reduced productivity, and negative impacts on your mental and physical health. You'll likely feel feelings of frustration, stress, anxiety, fear, because of this negative, unhealthy work environment that your horrible boss has created. So what does this do to us, to our self-esteem? Unfortunately, having a horrible boss can have a significant impact on your well-being. All of the constant belittling and criticism and isolation can make you feel self-doubt in a way that you've never experienced before. If you're feeling stuck in your current situation and feel like there is no immediate end to your life with your horrible boss, then let's talk about ways that you can actively protect your well-being while you're in that circumstance. So first, it's about setting boundaries. You need to clearly define your boundaries to protect your time, your energy, and your mental health. To successfully set boundaries with a horrible boss, you need to define your limits. Clearly identify for yourself what behaviors are acceptable and not acceptable, and clearly communicate your new boundaries to your boss in an assertive and professional manner. I recommend that you write them down for yourself, that you share them in person, and then you send them again in an email to reinforce the discussion that you had. And you need to focus on why it's important for your health, your well-being, and your productivity. And stay consistent. New boundaries need to be reinforced time and time again until both parties have a clear understanding of what those boundaries are and that they're not going anywhere. And finally, you're going to seek support if needed in your new boundary setting process. Seek guidance from HR or from an ombudsperson, a mentor, a trusted colleague, or even a really good friend who's also in the industry and can maybe provide some additional perspective. Setting boundaries is essential for maintaining your mental health and well-being in a challenging work environment. Now we're going to talk about building resilience. Building resilience involves developing the ability to adapt and bounce back from challenges, setbacks, and adversity. And if you're like, well, Brooke, this is all great, but this has been a lot of information already. We're not to the end of the video yet. How am I going to make this part of my life? Then I highly recommend that you take advantage of the free leadership mini course that I always share in my videos. It is called 4 Powerful Shifts to Elevate Your Leadership and Feel More You at Work. And I promise you will work on and build skills through reflection and different exercises that will help you to implement a lot of these concepts that we're talking about right now into your leadership. So it'll be linked in the bottom. Please enjoy. And so we talked about how resilience is important. But let's talk about now, how can you build resilience? What does that mean? What does that look like? You can cultivate a growth mindset, which truly means embracing challenges as opportunities to learn. And maybe the challenge is that your boss is incompetent and you end up picking the slack up for them. You can learn from that. It's annoying, but you can learn from that. Then we have developing healthy coping mechanisms. So meditation, or finding time to exercise, or listening to music. There's a variety of ways that you can channel that stress, energy, that anxiety into something positive and good that strengthens you and bring you back to life and maintain your well-being. And outside of stress reduction techniques, I'm a big advocate of spending time with people you love. People that make you happy and bring you joy, and you don't even have to be talking to them about whatever the stressful thing was that happened that day. Just hearing their voice, just hearing what's going on in their life, maybe being able to listen to a challenge they're having and offer some insight, it will help you feel like a human again. It will help you reconnect with yourself. Promise. Then you want to build a support system. Surround yourself with supportive friends, family, colleagues, or maybe a really good therapist. All of which you can turn to in your time of need. But especially that therapist that can help you process what you're going through, gain new perspective, and find ways to turn that perspective into empowering lessons that you can take with you for the rest of your career. Then we have setting realistic goals. Break down those really big goals that you have into smaller, achievable, bite-sized things that you can check off your to-do list, and you can start stacking your wins. And stacking wins gives us confidence and empowers us. And then all that challenge and all that struggle you're feeling on a daily basis with this person who definitely does not deserve you as an employee. You can reflect on the challenges you've experienced in the past and identify the lessons you learned, the ways that you grew, and how those things strengthened you. Because those moments are what made you resilient. And they will help you in the future when you are feeling helpless or hopeless or just flat out exhausted by all the BS. Turn back to those moments. Look back and see everything that you have overcome and all the successes and achievements that make you who you are, and stand in that power. And that way, when you look at that horrible boss, you know that whatever is happening is a reflection of who they are and how they feel about themselves, and it has nothing to do with who you are and what you are capable of or what you contribute. So we've talked about boundary setting. We've talked about building your resilience. And now we're going to talk about using that emotional intelligence that is such an intricate part of you as a human and a leader. Your emotional intelligence allows you to navigate all those irritating, frustrating, hurtful, painful moments with your horrible boss with the ability to regulate your emotions and choose how you want to respond. It also helps you understand why they are doing the things they are doing. And maybe the best way to maneuver around them and their bad behavior. Your level of self-awareness and your ability to tune in to the feelings and experiences, motivations of others by using that superpower empathy, that is going to be a saving grace for you. That's going to be a lifeline because it will free you from taking in the things they are saying and doing as commentary on your capability, your competence, your professionalism, your character. You know that it has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you, which is freeing. And finally, there may come a point where your situation with your horrible boss becomes unbearable. So then you could consider long-term solutions. Maybe you request a transfer, or maybe it's time to update your resume and start searching for a new position. You owe it to yourself to extract yourself from any situation that is going to be causing long-term permanent damage to who you are, causing you to lose pieces of yourself, causing you to lose the passion or purpose or enjoyment of what you do and why you do it. Sometimes it's just time to move on. And what specifically can you learn from a horrible boss? A multitude of things. We learn how not to treat people. We learn the importance of empathy and compassion. We learn the absolute need for effective communication, which means communication is clear, timely, and complete. We learn the impact of toxic behavior on a team. We learn the value of setting clear expectations and providing the right tools and resources that people need in order to get the job done to the standard that's expected. And we learn the significance of creating a psychologically safe, positive, healthy work environment. And like I said in the beginning, as we're wrapping this up, we've learned more about what we value and what kind of leader we really want to be. It's human nature to be able to clearly identify what we don't want. Maybe easier than to say what we do want. So one of the perks of living through an experience with a horrible boss is you get a whole lot of information about what you don't want and who you don't want to be. So if you are ever seeking clarity around any of that, this experience will shine a light on that bright as day. I think every opportunity that I had, and I'll look at that long list of horrible bosses I've had as opportunities to learn. I saw real time what choices they were making and was always thinking, if I were the leader, I would be making this choice instead, or I would deliver the message in this way, or I would set these expectations, or I would speak to my team as if they were humans that I cared about. I made choices in my head based on the choices they were making. My choices were for my future opportunities, right? When I was in that leadership role, I had all of these lessons I had learned, courtesy of my horrible bosses, that I could take with me and implement to make sure that my future employees, the teams that I led, never had the experiences that I had to have. Thank you for spending time with me today and being part of our community. Times can be tough, but we can get through it together. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell to stay connected, receive valuable resources, and please like and share the video to support the growth of female leaders worldwide. And if you are interested in receiving personalized guidance and support, please connect with me to learn more about private coaching. And let's level up your leadership together. And until next time, stay true to yourself, lead with purpose, and thank you for watching.